So, we're back. We're currently headed to go get a battery. Just kidding, we already got it. This is just test footage anyways. Who cares? So, we didn't want to waste your time with a part 1 and a part 2 while we're waiting on parts. So, we got a lead on a car to start our trade up challenge for $500. So, we're gonna go check this thing out now. I know that it's not the video that we wanted to post this week, but while we're waiting on parts, it's just gonna make things so much easier for us to jump in this thing and figure out what's going on with it, and make sure that this is done right, because as much as I love to throw things together on a budget, I don't want to throw it together with duct tape and bubble gum and beat half to death turbo manifolds. You know? This video will be coming out next week. It's going to be lengthy, but it's going to be a lot of fun. So we're really, really excited about this challenge, because how cool would it be to start with a $500 car and one day, as the trade up challenge, hopefully not down challenge, but trade up challenge goes, we trade for like a split bumper Camaro or a Sylvia or Skyline or something cool. If you guys do like this kind of content, this is going to be a fun little adventure. Keep hanging around. What? Like and subscribe, hit that bell icon so that you get a notification anytime we post and send our videos right down the pipe. Even though I do say that we release them every Wednesday, the shorts and stuff that come out and all that stuff, they just help. So yeah, thank you guys so much for the love and support, and let's get in this thing. I'm super excited. Let's go. By the way, I did see a lot of your comments that a bunch of you guys did actually like the peanut gallery commentary. We will definitely be bringing that back in a future video, because we had a lot of fun doing it. So this is it. Check this thing out. Oh boy.
I don't really think you can ask for much more for $500. You know what I mean? It's pretty clean in here. I mean, it obviously is dirty, but I mean, the leather looks pretty good. A really, really good detail this thing could use. All right, let's see if we got any power. Got no power, nada. So let's check it out and see what kind of shape the battery's in. Cobwebs and no battery. The Mazda did not have a battery in it, so I had to go get one real quick.
What do you think about the Mazda?
Oh, the Mazda's great, okay? Listen, the Mazda is a $500 car. I'm excited because with every $500 car, if you put 1,000 into it, you still might not have a $1,500 car. But we're gonna make sure that we get this thing up and running well, run into the back of a trailer. And I gotta be careful, we've not yet installed Blake's, Blake breaking this car yet, so. We've got our pretty slick little super start. Check out, this is the car owner's toolbox. All we need is a little and a little, and it'll go. Is it cooking with grease or is it cooking with gas? What's the actual terminology? Anybody know that? You can say that in the comments. How about that? Yeah, about rounded that one off. Nice and secure. Let's see if it starts. Hey! That actually runs pretty good. It's running great. Let it idle down for a little bit. Currently we're idling at about 1100, so it's pretty good. I can see we are very, very low on fuel. So far, obviously it hasn't logged any codes yet, it hasn't been running long enough, so let's put this thing in gear and see if it'll move. It moves. Woo, gotta knock some of that rust off the brake rotors. Currently it's shifting fine, which is good. Honestly, it's running a lot better than I expected. Hey, for 500 bucks, can't beat that. We do have check engine light on and an AT code, or AT light. That's for the automatic transmission, so there is some sort of fault code. So currently it's not wanting to shift out of what seems to be like third gear. So going maybe from third to fourth. I don't know if that's a shift solenoid issue. That's a TCM issue. We'll have to just, like I said, pull codes on it, kind of do some diag and see. But so far, at least it runs and drives. It is currently locked in third gear though. Yeah, this thing has no idea what fresh gas is like. Couple things to note. Number one, it does have a rough idle. So it could be coming from a couple vacuum leaks for sure. Sounds like it's coming from the intake. Could be gaskets. There we are. Now we're hearing something. It's a pretty massive vacuum leak though. You can hear it. And you hear it idling out. So that's good. Looking in here. All right, got our money. I think we're gonna go ahead and buy this thing. Pretty excited. Looks a little rough around the edges, obviously. There's a lot of work to do, but I think what we're gonna do, he said it'd be super cool that we leave it here until we can come back and drive it home. Any other time, I think we would drive it home tonight. Shoot, cut that. We'll just drive it.
That is not
got
it.
the title.
There is no way. That's not real.
I'll take this to the DMV and get this thing registered ASAP. I just ripped it more. Dang it. All right, we're done. Check this thing out. We just went ahead and got this thing bought. Now we're going to try our long little road trip home. We're going to see what we can turn this thing into for 500. Like I said, I've already got 200 bucks in a battery, but hopefully here soon we'll be able to throw some parts at it. I'm gonna go ahead and probably order a gasket kit for the intake so that we can take it apart, see what's broke. Hopefully the plenum itself isn't broke. Maybe it's just a couple lines that are split. Good news is that it does run and drive. So we're gonna see if we can get this puppy home. So stay tuned.
The Mazda he just purchased. It's a 2005 Mazda 6. He got it for 500 bucks. I mean, he's driving it right now and it's on his way home, so not bad. Every red light is the opportunity for this thing to stall, so I know he's just trying to keep it going.
Good news, it made it home. Like I said, it wouldn't shift into fourth gear, but I think we might have a couple avenues to travel to diag this thing properly and at least get it functioning, driving, running normally. So it made over a 30-mile trip on its own, plus a $200 battery. So hey, we'll do our building on a budget breakdown at the end of the video. So stay tuned. We're gonna be diagging everything in the next part of the video. So ready to go time traveling again? Go. New nickname, Black Magic. Couple things we want to get done on the car today. Number one, it definitely needs a good cleaning and detail. If we had a little bit more time, a little bit more budget, we might try and fix some of the imperfections in the paint and stuff like that. I know I'm definitely going to probably try and knock this dent out. Just pop the door panel off and kick that sucker out. We should be okay to start sorting these things out. Let's go ahead and get it over down in the garage and start pulling codes on it and see what we got. All right, this is going to be its temporary spot because the garage is full with other projects we're working on. So as you can see, the outside's pretty dirty, and to be completely honest with you, the inside's not much better. So we're going to go ahead and while I'm going to go ahead and put pull codes on it and figure out what we can about diagnosing this transmission issue and probably the check engine light too. I do have a feeling that the vacuum leak is definitely playing a part in the check engine light being on because it was an O2 sensor code, like leaning it out and everything. In order for us to fix the vacuum leaks, we're gonna have to pull the intake. One of the last clips you saw, I was spraying the brake cleaner to try and locate the vacuum leak, and we did find it underneath the intake. So I went ahead and got a gasket kit ordered. It's here. We're gonna rip the intake manifold off. Hopefully it's just like a split line or maybe just the gaskets themselves and not the plenum. But we'll go from there and figure that out. As far as the transmission issue goes, I'm gonna start with just a fluid flush and a filter change because there's a chance it's never been changed. I kind of found that these things have what a lot of people like to call sealed for life transmissions. I don't know how true that is, but Mazda basically, I guess they just assumed that these would run lifetime on that same fluid. I don't know. We're gonna get into it and let you know. All right, we're gonna hook up to this puppy and see what kind of issues lie in wait for us. The good news is I can actually read transmission codes too. This should have flagged something. I'm expecting like a shift solenoid or something, since it wouldn't change. But we will see. We didn't pull anything from the power control module or the TCM. I didn't see anything that said abnormal in the topology report. I did go ahead and pull codes. I did get a transmission shift solenoid code, which I did kind of expect. And again, it could be just a number of things. It could be the solenoid itself. It could be a TCM failure, PCM failure, faulty wiring. You just never know. It was actually a circuit code. One of the main things that can cause that is transmission fluid being low or super contaminated, which I did just crank up the engine and check the transmission fluid, and it is low. Now the transmission is not hot, but it is still very, very low for even for a cold transmission. So we're gonna go ahead and check all that out. I'm gonna go ahead and jack this thing up and get it drained out the pan and get the filter changed. And hey, hopefully, fingers crossed, that's all it is and that shift solenoid works. But while I do have the pan off, I will do a visual inspection of the valve body and, you know, see if there's any broken wires, anything like that to the shift solenoids. It was shift solenoid A, which controls 1 and 2 gear and 3 and 4 gear. So there is a big chance that the solenoid could be bad. And I want to say they're like 15-20 bucks, but I don't want to just throw parts at it. So if we can fix it without having to throw a part at it and diagnose it correctly, I'll check for faulty wiring or anything like that. I'll test resistance for the solenoid, and we'll go from there. But stay tuned. I really would just like to find it without searching very hard. Wonder if it's just like a crack in the plenum. That really does suck, but if it's just like a split hose or something, we're gonna be able to find it super quick, seal it up really fast, and be ready. Okay, so one thing that I am gonna get done is get all this clean up. These cobwebs are just hanging out in here and all that. This whole workspace just makes it a lot easier if I can just go ahead and vacuum a lot of this junk up and try and make it a lot more friendly environment. So
It was not your fault, but mine.
now that we've got everything kind of somewhat clean, I'm gonna go ahead and start taking off this intake manifold, the whole plenum. So I'll start by taking off the air box and the air cleaner, kind of get it out of the way. I'll probably leave the throttle body attached for now, because hopefully the plenum is not cracked or anything. Hopefully it's just a line or something underneath. Ding, 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 ding. Oh, goodness gravy. Well, come on, get off of there. Dang, that's nice. Yeah, nice and latched down there. Short stroke shorty. Well, we seem to have found the problem, and I found my twin. Look. No, but if you guys want to check this out, though, this is our culprit for our vacuum leak. This is a PCV hose. Looks like that is up underneath, or just a large vacuum hose that's underneath, and she is split all to pieces. Unfortunately, we couldn't have gotten that out. Maybe could have reached underneath and got to it, but it was going to be a hard task. But yep, that was our issue. Politely punch it back out.
All right, so Jacob's gone to the parts store right now to get a few things to fix the Mazda. While he's gone, I'm gonna go ahead and get started cleaning it up. One thing we like to do, whether it's an old vehicle or a new vehicle, is to clean it up to the best of our ability. That way when someone sees it, they don't see all the flaws, but they see what is nice about the car. I've already gotten all the big trash out of the car. The next thing I'm gonna do is take out the floor mats, vacuum out the medium-sized trash, and then when all the finer dust is left, I'll blow that out with an air compressor. I'll move on to detailing the door jambs and the exterior of the car, and hopefully we get a car that looks a lot nicer than it currently does. So stay tuned.
we don't need that anymore because we got a new one. So I did drive a little ways to go get this, but they had 2 in stock. So I was very, very happy that at least I'm gonna have the correct part to put back instead of just makeshifting a PCV hose to go back. This will be the exact fit. I've got new intake manifold gaskets that I can go ahead and put everything back together the correct way and hopefully get rid of all of our vacuum leaks. So while I'm down here though, I'm gonna check out the contacts on the starter just to make sure, because we were having that clicking issue, but for the most part, I think everything looks good. I'm just gonna kind of tighten up everything that I see and put this thing back together. So beautiful. It doesn't look like anything's wrong with the starter. Let's recheck our battery connections and make sure that they're not like corroded or anything like that, just so that when it sends power to the starter that it actually engages. Now that I got this position right, we're gonna go ahead and try and get the intake manifold back down in here after we swap our gaskets and button this job up pretty quick. This sucks. These things have been on here for a very long time. Unfortunately, this thing has probably never had like a fuel injector service cleaner or a throttle body service clean or anything like that. So, I mean, it's just had a bunch of carbon buildup and gunk that has just plagued this thing for 235,000 miles. But again, I cannot complain for $500. You know, if I can basically get this thing fixed for a PCV hose, some intake manifold gaskets, and a fluid and filter change on the transmission for less than $100, we're gonna be good to go. So I have my little beautiful Fel-Pro gasket kit. I think I purchased this for about $19 on Amazon, and I made sure it was still a good name brand because Fel-Pro keeps things going. This is not a paid sponsorship, but man, it sure would be cool if we did have it. Green light paper, the money kind. All right, there is one more tiny little gasket that's gonna go up underneath this block-off plate. So once I get it back down in there and get everything kind of plumbed up and close, I'll pop that plate off and put this little gasket on there. Hello. Just to get this thing to drop down in to place like that. I gotta hook that PCV hose up. Ooh, I'm all over it. Oh, it's right there. Just go on. It's not going on. I have to get me handy dandy light down here so I can see. Oh, don't you do that to me. Come here. Stop freaking betraying me. Beautiful. Went right on. All right, we're on. Let's line this puppy up and get it started. And I'm gonna go underneath and get that one started before I tighten anything up. Got the intake manifold back on, sealed up, ready to go. PCV hose is what was the issue, so we're good to go there. So all that's left to do now is I'm gonna ohm out those solenoids in the transmission and make sure that they're all good. The fluid in this thing was so discolored and contaminated. The magnet just had so much friction material and like metal goop stuck to it, and it was the original sealant around the pan. So for 235,000 miles, this thing has probably never had new fluid. If it has had new fluid, it definitely hasn't had a new filter change. So gonna probably ohm out those solenoids, make sure they're all good, refill it back with transmission fluid and change the filter, and see how she shifts. All in all, for the money, we're in this thing pretty low amount. So very, very excited for where this thing has turned out. All right, so today's the last day of this cute little 500 under 1,000 project, but we gotta straighten out a couple little things here and there. Number one, these headlights, they're like hardly even see-through anymore. So while I'm gonna be working on doing a quick headlight restoration on the time-lapse tripod, Blake's gonna be buffing and waxing the whole car, because that's one thing we need, is even after we finish washing it, it still just does not pop like it needs to on Facebook Marketplace to get us the best bang for our buck. So we're gonna go ahead and get all that taken care of now, and you guys can just watch, sit back, eat some popcorn, maybe drink a soda.
Job well done, sir. Job well done.
Now she'll start. All right, so I know this isn't the brown nugget, and I'm sorry, but we had to wait on parts anyways, so why not turn this beautiful, well now beautiful, $500 car into something that we can trade up to something way, way, way better in the future. So this is gonna be the start to the trade up challenge. I'm so excited. I mean, look how this thing turned out. It turned out great. For 500 bucks, you really can't beat it. I think we have all together right at about $365 in total parts or supplies spent in making it look like this. So total price we got in the entire car is $865. I am planning on doing a budget breakdown for this car leading into the next video to show exactly what we had in this one and what we traded into. So wanted to end with a verse of scripture. This verse of scripture comes from Zechariah 4:10. It says, "Do not despise these small beginnings, for the Lord rejoices to see the work begin, to see the plumb line in Zerubbabel's hand." So obviously this is a small beginning. We're starting with a $500 car, but I believe that it's gonna grow into something crazy. I agree that it's gonna be kind of a little dicey at first, but we're gonna just march our way on up. Trade up challenge, this has been awesome so far, so I'm so excited for where we ended up and excited for where we're headed. Next week, we will get into the boost build on the C10, which is all gonna be one video for you guys. Thank you guys so much for today's episode, and we will catch you guys on the flip. Bing! That's that bell. Ring it. See ya.